Dreams. They are mysterious, but they are even more mysterious in the Arthur universe. In the Arthur universe, dreams reflect what has happened when someone was awake or what someone wants to happen once they wake up. Sometimes a dream can encourage someone to do something they wouldn't normally do if they didn't have that certain dream. But what happens when a magic ticket can lead you to an island of Ukabanga, or when you travel through a wormhole 4 years into the future? Then is it just a wild dream? I don't think so. Hi, I'm Viv, and this is my theory of what is happening in this Arthur special. And I still stand by what I said, that there are no dreams whatsoever in this special. Because it wouldn't make sense that most of the story took place in 2 different dreams. But what proof do I have that these places that DW and Arthur traveled to are not taking place in a dream? I have one piece of evidence to prove to you all that what I believe is to be correct. In both of these so-called dreams, there is one thing that should not be able to happen if they were in any kind of dream. Reading. Arthur is able to read 2 books. A Scare Your Pants Off club book, and a hardcover math workbook. There aren't any books on Ukabanga, and DW can't read yet, but that's not a problem. There is one place where there's words. On the ticket. If these 2 were dreams, the words would have changed every time it's being looked at. But if these weren't dreams, then how did Arthur ended up seeing DW's boat and hear Ruthra roar? There had been 2 cases in this show where 2 characters share a dream. DW and WD in the episode Best Enemies, and Francine and Buster in Mutiny on the Pitch. But why is this happening if these 2 places are not dreams? I think it's because they are both not entirely awake. They both fell asleep when they traveled to these distant lands. So I guess they're both connected since the 2 of them are both asleep. But why are these 2 different non-dream places in particular are connected with each other? Is it because Arthur went to the same island before when he was little and is still somehow there on the island? Yes, I believe so. 5-year-old Arthur went to sleep for about an hour and spent years on this magical island, and woke up after the monsters tossed him into the volcano. Since that's what the monsters wanted to do. As he's tossed into the volcano, he wakes up and forgets everything that happens on the island, which means when he was asleep, he himself sort of traveled to the future, as any other normal person is able to do. And when he wakes up, he sort of time travels back in time. Time travel is very confusing. That could explain why the Arthur monster, Ruthra, looks similar to the present-day Arthur. As Ruthra, he changes into what the present-day Arthur looks like, who's awake. That Arthur's awake self and his Ukabanga self are both connected with each other. But when Arthur started to fall asleep during a boring tea party, how was that able to bring him back to the present day? And this wasn't the only time that Arthur fell asleep. So why is it happening at this time? If Arthur didn't let himself play tea party with Kate and continue to do his homework, would he get sleepy and start seeing DW's sailboat in the sea of math problems? What if he was somewhere exciting? Would he get sleepy and start seeing ocean water fill up the area and DW's sailboat appears as it descends into a whirlpool? Would that happen? I don't know. If Arthur wasn't sleepy, would this still happen? No, it wouldn't. Because his sleepiness plus his ruthless self tossed into the volcano equals go back in time and erase what happened. So these 2 things don't have to happen at the same time. For example, Arthur could be asleep and Ruthra could be tossed into the volcano, and vice versa. As long as these things were united, Arthur will be able to go back to the present day, whatever that year may be. I have a wild guess when it could be, but I'll say that for another Arthur theory. Another way these 2 non-dream-like dreams are connected is because they are both connected with space. At first I thought Arthur and his friends traveled through Sagittarius A somehow, but they traveled through a wormhole, and this is a black hole, not a wormhole. Two very different things. A wormhole is a hypothetical connection between widely separated regions of space-time. As for a black hole, it's a region of space having a gravitational field so intense that no matter or radiation can escape, including light. Then why are we shown this and hear the narrator talking about this if Arthur and his classmates went through a wormhole and not a black hole? Because right after the narrator says,
"If we could travel inside it, where would it take us?"
we transition to where DW is, on the other side of the black hole. In the real universe, this can't happen. If someone was able to get near it, they would die and just be added to the black hole. But this is the Arthur universe. The rules are different there than here. So it could be possible that another universe lies on the other side of the black hole, in the Arthur universe. How did DW travel through it if she was asleep? Well, the special doesn't explain how, but I can. Theory-wise, as DW puts the ticket on her head and says the magic words, part of her unconsciousness starts to travel through the purple light shining from Sagittarius A. If you are still not convinced that she did travel through the black hole, pay attention to the lighting change around DW. As the camera spins around, the light changes to purple. You know how black holes suck up light and anything else that's near it? Anything that gets sucked into it can't escape. Just like the island of Ukubanga. How did DW end up escaping? Well, the short answer is, she didn't. Same with Arthur, who was there for a long time as Rutha, who was thrown into the volcano. So DW and Arthur are still somehow there. At least a part of themselves are still there. But how are they still trapped there? Part of their subconscious is still there. We dream about 5 to 7 times a night, and we forget some of those dreams. One of those dreams that Arthur and DW would have is being on Ukubanga, and they would move on to the next dream, and they would both immediately forget that Ukubanga dream that they both had together. Is that the end of the theory? Nope. There are still answers that need to be revealed. Like who or what is responsible for this happening to both DW and Arthur. I may have an answer to that, but not completely. Are any of you curious of who or what is responsible for all this crazy stuff happening when I'm done figuring it all out? If you are, please don't be shy and let me know down in the comments. I have something really important that I have to do that involves me reviewing an Arthur episode that involves Arthur avoiding Cousin Mo.
Ooh, I think that's a skull and crossbones.